Morning, Trainiacs. Just did a 30-minute swim there and a 45-minute strength session later today. A lot of people, they assume that because they see me training 2, maybe 3 times in most days, that they're like, wow, triathlon training is so intense. Well, that's not true. Depending on what goals you've got, what race you're doing, your background in athletics, you can train as little as an average of 2.5 hours a week to do your first triathlon. So to answer the question of how much do you need to train for a triathlon, we actually put together a calculator that we use on teamtrainiac.com, and with a couple of inputs of your background, your race goal, your race distance, you can find out exactly how many hours a week on average you need to train, how many months it's going to take you to reach your goal. And we're going to give it to you right here. So if you're wondering exactly how much you need to train for triathlon, the answer is it depends, but we're going to give you your answer of all of the it depenses right now. So, all right, Trainiacs. One thing that we get asked a lot on Team Trainiac, and actually just over social media, is how much do I need to train to do such and such race? And something that's always bugged me, but frankly, I've always said it, is, well, it depends. And I have then had to think about where the athlete's starting from and what their goals are. And from that came up with some kind of answer. And I thought to myself, well, what if we just put that into a calculator so that when people are online Googling, all right, how much do I need to train to do such and such a race? Now we've got an answer. We built that into teamtrainiac.com to help people sign up to decide how much to train throughout the week. And we also are going to give you a tool so that you can do this on your own. So let me show you what we've got. So this is our training app. This is where we do all of our training. It's teamtrainiac.com. You can go check it out. You do get a free 14-day trial. You'll go through this and it'll guide you through how to set up your personalized triathlon training plan within 60 seconds. And this is the process. So when people come to the plan, basically it starts with what's the distance of race, the longest distance of race that you're considering. And let's, for this video, start with sprint. So you start with sprint, hit continue, and then what's generated is a guideline of 4 to 7 workouts a week will allow you to finish. That's going to take you somewhere in between about 2 hours, 45 minutes to 4 hours a week to finish. Between 8 and 10 workouts a week will take roughly 4.5 to 5 hours a week. On average, it's going to peak up more than that, but on average throughout a year, that'll allow you to finish feeling strong. And then 11 to 14 hours a week, which will average 5.5 to 6:15. Remember, that's an average. It does peak up to more than that, and there are times that it's less than that. That'll allow you to be fairly competitive. Now we can go back and say, what if we want to actually do an Olympic? What's that going to be? Well, similar sort of thing. 4 to 7 workouts is going to be 3 hours, 45 minutes to 4 hours, 45. That'll allow you to finish. 8 to 10 workouts is where you can start finishing feeling strong, averaging 5 hours, 15 minutes to 6 hours, 15 minutes a week. And then 11 to 14 workouts a week will allow you to be competitive, and you average about 6:45 to 7 hours, 45 minutes per week. And you know what? Let's just, for kicks, let's do half Ironman and Ironman as well. Half Ironman, if that's what you're targeting, 4 to 7 workouts a week. We average on our team, we allow athletes to do that, is going to average 5 hours, 15 minutes to 6 hours, 30 minutes per week. At that point, however, finishing is a little bit questionable. 8 to 10 workouts a week is where you can start finishing feeling strong, and that's going to take about 7:15 to 8:15 hours per week. And 11 to 14 workouts is around where you can feel competitive at about 8.5 to 9.5 hours per week. And that's actually where I was when I qualified for my very first half Ironman World Championship. I averaged a 9-hour training week, and it peaked up to about 13 hours, but on average over the course of the training year, it was 9 hours. What about for an Ironman? An Ironman, this is where it's a big step up. Working out 4 to 7 times a week, finishing very, very questionable. You're going to average around 7 hours, 15 minutes to 8 hours, 45 minutes. 8 to 10 workouts a week, you're going to average 9.5 to 10.5 hours per week, but finishing is still questionable. At this point, it's kind of dependent on the athlete that you are. And 11 to 14 workouts a week, that's kind of the cost of doing business. And at that point, you can finish feeling strong with 11 hours, 15 minutes to around 11 hours, 45 minutes of training per week. So a couple things about this. Number one, this is dependent on having a proper triathlon training plan. If you're training like junk, if you're overtraining, if you're not training long enough, if you're not training hard enough, if you don't know how to put the plan together, all of these become so much harder. This is a very efficient plan that we've designed with PhDs and researchers and coaches, and pulling information from all the Trainiacs, making sure that what we're giving them is actually working. So we're always refining it. So it's a really, really efficient plan. The hours per week end up climbing up if you have an inefficient plan. If you're training without workouts that are designed for VO2 max building or endurance building or fat as a source of fuel kind of burning. Or if your workouts just don't have an intention, if you're working out just for the sake of working out, all of these expectations, they end up requiring a lot more hours. In addition to that, more importantly, expectations have to be in line with what your goals are. If your goal is to just finish, but you're not sure, whether you finish or not, well, you know how many hours that takes now for each of the distances. If you want to compete, now you know what that takes. If you want to just finish feeling strong, now you know what that takes. Now the second question is, how long do I need to do this for? How many months of training am I going to need? That's another it depends. I'm going to show you that. So this here is actually something that we've just created for the purpose of this video, and I'm going to tell you where you can download this. This is just a spreadsheet file that I've created thinking back to the experiences that I've had, that athletes around me have had, that athletes that we've worked with on teamtrainiac.com have had. And basically, it's a how long do you need to train based on your goals. So you know from that sign up on teamtrainiac.com how much you need to train week by week, but how long do you need to train? So what we've got here is you can select same sort of thing, sprint, Olympic, half Ironman, and Ironman. Then you indicate your athletic background. So if you have no background, if you have a modest background, like in my case, I was a modest background. I had some background in curling and just understanding sport and progressing in something, or an elite background. So let's say for me, if I were to start from zero, have a half Ironman in mind, have a modest background, and let's say that my goal is to finish feeling strong, well, that's probably going to take me 18 months. And then the weekly hours training per week, that's all over on teamtrainiac.com. I'll actually try to clean this up so that if you want to go and download this, it'll be included there. But this is basically what we're looking to do, is get people matched up with what their race goal is as far as distance, what they're coming into it for an athletic background is, and what their goal is as far as how do they want to feel coming over to the finish line. Do you want to just finish? Do you want to compete? Or do you want to finish feeling strong? And then generate an amount of months that you're going to need to train and an amount of hours that you need to train so that you can actually sit there and go, okay, I can do that. Or, well, I can't do that right now. So that means maybe I start with where I am right now. And maybe instead of finish feeling strong, maybe I just say, all right, finish. Oh, hey. 6 months from now, yeah, I can definitely finish a half Ironman 6 months from now, and then I can build on that. So it starts marrying all of the goals and expectations with an actual time so that athletes out there, you watching this, can decide, are you willing to put in that time commitment, or is it going to be too much? Through the magic of video editing, I actually just went and fixed that error message. So now you can know how many hours a week it's going to take for you to reach your goals and how long it's going to take approximately. So let's just do a couple of the fun ones. Like let's say somebody wants to go and compete in an Ironman, go from nothing to competing, might take 4 years. I think that's about appropriate because it's going to take you a long time to learn how to swim, to build up the endurance. Probably going to have to start with a sprint and then work your way up. Now, what if you just want to go from an Ironman sitting on the couch to just finishing? Well, we're talking about 12 months to actually just finish, and that's about what I think is appropriate. Or what if you want to just do a sprint coming from no background and literally just finish? 3 months. I think in 3 months, yeah, you can do a sprint distance race with an average of around 2 hours, 45 minutes to 4 hours of average training per week in 3 months, very easily. So there's lots of different permutations of how many hours, what your goals are, all that. We're not going to turn this into a 60-minute video, but if you want to download this, you can go to triathlontaren.com/how-much-to-train. And all you got to do is put in your email address and you'll get this calculator. And if you want to go and check out what the training is like I say, you can go to teamtrainiac.com, sign up for 14 days. You can get training for free and see what it's like and if it's appropriate for you. But now you've got an idea of how many hours it's going to take each week and how many months it's going to take for you to reach your goal. So with that said, thank you for watching the video. If you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. And like I say, go check out triathlontaren.com/how-much-to-train. All one word, all lowercase. No dashes, no underscores, no accent aigus for the Frenches out there. Later, Trainiacs.